it does touch on another key, like important quarter lifer issue, which is comparison, right? Because and they go hand in hand. Comparison goes hand in hand with expectations. But I think, right, you've taken a lesser job, right? Has comparison, because of that decision, has that affected you at all?
Absolutely. I think looking at my friends, I have some friends who are in incredibly impressive jobs. And I always find myself being like, oh, when we talk about work and I hear the things they're doing versus what I'm doing, you can't help but feel a little a little bad about yourself. But I kind of just have learned to let that go. We each had different callings in life. So I have friends who knew from the time they were 5 that they were going to be a teacher, and that's what they're doing now, and they're so great at it, and that was their calling. I have other friends who were born to be nurses, and that's what they do, and they're amazing at it, and they excel in their jobs. I have friends that went into politics, others that went into criminal justice, and I think once you kind of realize we're all put here to do something different,
Hmm.
you stop comparing yourself to them. And I know that there's things that they probably compare themselves to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, I guess I never thought of it that way. Like we're all kind of just comparing ourselves to each other. And it's super normal and super natural to do. I'm probably going to do that for the rest of my life, but I don't think about it that deeply anymore. At the end of the day, most of my friends are my college friends. So we all went to school together, we earned our degrees together, and we're all doing something different. And not to say one's better than the other, we're just all on different paths. But some days I definitely wake up and I'm like, oh wow, my best friend has a doctorate and I don't. But that's not what I was meant to do. So you kind of just have to let that go.
And I think it's too understanding that, like, there's seasons to life. Like, this is just right now,
Hmm.
right? Like, Sam in 2 years could be saying something completely different. You're like, all right, I want to, like, be that boss bitch again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I- there's flexibility, there's room to change your mind too. I think that's important. Um, and another thought just on that is, like, kind of like you said, like, everyone's playing a different game. And I think we're going to talk about this in episode 8 of just comparison and, like, the fact that literally every single person is playing a different game. And yet we look around and I look at the game that you're playing of whatever it might be, career, relationships, life. And I think, wait, Sam's doing that. I should be doing that. Right. But on the flip side, you're saying you've kind of gotten to a place where it's like, again, like, you stay in your lane. My
Hmm.
lane is my lane. Because, like, honestly, we're the exact opposite, right? Like, to me, career is very, very, very important right now. And that's the game that I'm playing. But at the same time, you're engaged, you have a house. I'm living at my parents and, like, just like working my face off, right? So I think that's kind of why your 20s is pretty cool, because everyone's off doing different things. And I think when you realize everyone doing their own thing is just, it's everyone's in their own lane. We're all running a race, but it's like the races are different. Like, we're all doing a different event.
Yeah, like using that game analogy, I think in our heads we think we're all different pieces on the same board, but really we're not even on the same board.
Mm,
We are all playing a different game.
yes.
And like you've said, I've just realized I have friends who are pregnant. I'm going to a baby shower soon from one of my college best friends. I have another friend who I just traveled for her wedding, another friend who just spent 9 months traveling in Australia. And we're all doing very different things. And when I think about it and I look at it, I'm like, that's such a beautiful thing that being 25, or I'm 26 now, there's no right way to do things. And I think once you kind of accept that and you're open to that, then you stop feeling that guilt and that pressure to do what everyone else is doing, and take a break from social media, because a lot of that is a lie. And you think, oh, that person's doing that looks so cool, that's so great, but it's all tailored to what you want to see. So I think when you take a break from that and you kind of just think about what you're doing, what you've accomplished, take 5 seconds take 5 seconds at the end of the day and think about, oh, I did that today. Even if you went on a walk around the neighborhood, great, you moved, you did something fun. And that's what I've been doing recently, is kind of just taking a step back from all of that and not looking at what everyone else around me is doing, and just being happy and content with where I'm at and being more present. Because I think I'm always looking to the future or harping on the past. As my therapist said, I need to just be here. And once you do that, then honestly, life's pretty great.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, I mean, that's awesome. And I think like you're focusing on more like the outside of work stuff kind of right now too. And building your life, like you're not like a super careerist right now again. And I think that's just important because that's kind of countercultural, right? That's not normal. Sam, you're not supposed to be doing that. You're 26. You're super smart. You're supposed to be out there trying to be a CEO, right? And you're kind of saying, no, 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 no. Like, that's all you guys saying that I have to do this. I should be this person. And right now that I'm not, but you're still aligned with, you feel like you're in the right place. You're where you kind of need to be, which is awesome. All right, so last thing I want to ask you, and I'll give you an option of answering one of two questions. So number one is kind of more of an advice question. If someone listening right now, in their 20s, maybe feels stuck like you did, or is chasing something that they feel like they should want, maybe based on expectations or labels, what would your advice be to them? Or question number two, if you could sit down with yourself right after you kind of graduated college, got the MBA, and went out into the real world, what would you say to Sam of 4 years ago?
Honestly, I feel like the advice that I would give myself at that time is also the advice that I would give to everybody else. The biggest one being, you have time. Like, we are only in our 20s. There is so much life that you still need to live. So don't stay miserable. Don't stay in a job you hate just because you're scared to take a risk and do something else. You have so much time to make a mistake. In my eyes, your 20s is when you should be making mistakes and learning from your failures. And don't let that guilt and that comparison to other people keep you from making what others would consider a risky move. I think I found myself still comparing myself to my friends. I was like, oh, well, they've grown in their jobs and I'm going to leave mine for the third time. But once I let that go, I made a great decision for myself. And you can change careers. You can change your mind. It's so normal to change your mind. I change my mind about what I want to eat for breakfast as I'm making it. So it's fine to pivot. It's fine to make that change. And that's really my biggest advice. And if you're stuck trying to think of what you do want to do, maybe take a step back and think about, what do I not want to do? Because for me, that really helped. I'm a pros cons list. That's kind of what I always do when I'm trying to make a hard decision. But when it came to finding what I wanted to do as a career, I more so knew what I didn't want to do. More than what I wanted to. I still don't really know exactly what I want to do, honestly. I can't sit here in confidence and say that I'm doing the job that I'm going to keep for 20 years. I cannot say that with confidence. Do I want to grow in my role and grow at the university? Absolutely. I know what I don't want to do, but I'm open to ideas. And I think just being open-minded, being flexible, that's going to help you a lot more than kind of staying stuck.
Yeah, I think we need to normalize that whole conversation around literally that we're not supposed to have it figured out, man. I'm 26, I'm 28, I'm 29, like fucking 31, dude. I don't know. Like, there's so much time left. Like, go follow Gary Vee and see what he has to say about time. He will say, like, we're going to live till like 110 and like you're going to work for the next 50 years. So like, I think what you're saying, like that process of elimination is so important, because if you can just, it's the tunnels thing again, but if you can just get the wrong ones out of the way, and then it's like finding gold on a treasure map. You finally find the gold of what that thing really, really is by the time you're, I don't know, 32, 35, whatever. And it's like, all right, well, I'm going to dig here as deep as I can and just go hard at this thing because this is it right now. But yeah, I think those expectations are so important to release, to get rid of, and realize that it's all from external forces that really at the end of the day don't matter.
And it's your life. Like at the end of the day, like when I was struggling with what I wanted to do and I was trying to get advice from my mom, my dad, my grandparents, my siblings, at the end of the day, they're not living your life. So if you're unhappy, then you need to make a change. Don't let others tell you what should make you happy. And I think once I let that go and I became more in line with what do I want out of my life? What am I passionate about? What do I want to do? Then I found those answers. Once I stopped, it's great to ask for advice. We're doing this podcast.
Yeah,
It's
right.
great to ask for advice, but don't let that dictate your decisions because you can get a million different answers from a million different people. So at the end of the day, it's what you want to do, and you're the only person that's going to live your life. So do what makes you happy, and if it means taking a pay cut and taking a step back, do it. Honestly, it's worth it.